Beginning of the next chunk of bonds, we have Faust and Garrick. Faust, I don't mean any disrespect, of course, but what on terror compelled you to pack yourself into that barrel? Good question. Right, so I'd imagine it has an equally good answer. I just like the way it smelled on the inside. Really? No, of course not. Are you kidding me? I had somewhere to be. Somewhere to be? That's right. And you're just still with us instead of wherever you're going because you're trying to get rid of me, aren't you? No, not before I understand what you're about, at least. That's a fool's errand, my friend.
Hardly.
You think you've got such an uncrackable shell? Listen very carefully, buddy, because I'm only going to say this once. Are you listening? Yes, Faust. I'm an enigma. I'll never be truly comprehended and never will be. My mere existence is a paradox. If you knew my true form on the being with whom you converse, you would tremble in despair. Somehow I doubt that. Then be grateful I've chosen to be merciful and shield your eyes from my true form.
You're really something.
I think I'm grateful for that all the same.
Definitely.
There we go. That's more like it. Meave and Lincoln. Grand Inquisitor, to what do I owe the honour? So Lincoln, I've been poring over our record of events leading up to the war. And I've left with a few crucial gaps in the story. I thought I might ask you a few questions if you don't mind. So as it comes with the territory. Tell me, did you know Varric before the war? I did. And how well exactly? As well as a faithful officer might expect. I see, a rising star in the ranks. I was useful to him, and he had won my admiration.
Very well.
Understandably. What was he like in those days? There were many who sought to test him as Delia's new king. He admonished them all with a firm but even hand, and showed great restraint in those days. You speak of the conflict with Norlius? Not only that, of Vulture's Eyrie then? I'm surprised to hear you mention it. If you only knew how precariously Delia and Carmont teetered on the edge of war. Perhaps I know more than you think. I'm not sure that's possible. You may speak ill of Whispers, Captain, but few slip past the Council's ears unheard. When would you have done all that? Then you would have done all that to pass those along. You would have done well to pass those along. Many might have died if we failed at Vulture's Eyrie. Many did. Be that as it may, a crisis was averted, and no thanks to any council. What makes you so sure? Varric must have obtained his knowledge from somewhere. Are you suggesting it was the Mystic Council that informed him of the crisis in the first place?
Forgive me.
If I was, I wouldn't be at liberty to answer that question. I'm sure you're well aware of that. Yes, it's all questions and no answers with you Inquisitors. You'll find life is much the same. I already have.
Said my part.
Well, I hope I've been some use to you. More than some, Captain, thank you. It's my honour. I'm sure it is. Thanks, Maeve. Bianca and Monroe. Tell me, what do you know of Joyce?
Oh, cute.
I thought you didn't have time for common harlots like myself.
Ugh.
It's been eating away at me for some time. I'm a slave to my own curiosity. Interesting. I wonder where that comes from. What did she say about me I must know?
What now?
First, you have to tell me why you need to hear it so badly. Is it textbook arrogance or genuine infatuation with Joyce? You're hardly giving me good options to pick from. I don't appreciate you putting words in my mouth. Yeah, no kidding. Maybe you should think about that before you do the same to other people. I'm not here for lectures in ethics, Bianca. I'm here to learn what Joyce said and nothing more. You still haven't answered why you care. Black Abyss, fine. You want to know why so blasted badly why I care? I love gossip and I can't stand knowing people talk about behind my back.
Who'da thunk?
You're a gossip. Gods, that explains so much. I wouldn't appreciate you sharing that information. Now tell me. Well, this is too good. Right, deal's a deal. Joyce used to come by the shop all the time. She told me you hated her guts. And she hadn't the slightest clue why. That's ridiculous. We barely ever spoke. Why would I care about her in one way or another? Okay, she didn't say that. I was baiting you to get more information. Will you just tell me already? She said that she heard you were thinking of leaving Etland for a while to spread your wings a bit. Did she? I wonder who told her. I was far from open about it. And you did, didn't you?
Naturally.
That's why I was on Ford's ship in the first place, yes. Interesting. Quit looking at me like that.
Not even.
I don't think I will, gossiper. Hey, just remember what we said about drawing lines? Yes. I think we should keep an eye on Alexa. Half the time she seems like she's about ready to race Sweargin all by herself. She definitely has no love for Varric. That's an understatement of the century. Well, I'll make a note of it, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. If anything inspires her, it's her love of the common people. And there are plenty of those in the city. That's true. I'm no politician. But I have to think that we'll need their support for the Delia we want to rebuild. That's definitely the wiser route. One wiser than what Varric took.
Definitely.
Sometimes it seems like it's a personality trait for these guys. What do you mean? Like they hate common people just to be quirky? The way some might have a thing for sun elf tragedies or battle tiaras? And rather than make them unique, it actually makes them just like everyone else. Exactly. Sometimes I don't know how it benefits them. But those who take a different approach, Monroe's father, for example. And look at how Monroe resents him, case in point. I'm not so sure he will by the end of all this. When the dust settles, his father may be one of the few lords that remain.
Who'da thunk?
Maybe it's the start of a new trend then. Well, I wouldn't count on it. Come on, a little wishful thinking never hurt anybody.
Seriously?
I'm not sure that's true, actually.
Cute.
Mr. Cynical over here. You picked that up in your lull days?
Relax.
Wouldn't you like to know? I'm still thinking... I still think I'm spying on you for the Delian army, huh? You could be playing the long game.
Not even.
I never play the long game. Now I'm quite skeptical of... Hey, don't start.
Not
Off
like-
Caius. You're right, I wouldn't want a certain Amoran princess to hear us.
Oh no, you don't.
You little... Vester and Orima. Something's put a swing in your step. What's on your mind? I'm thinking about Dervin. We barely made it out there by the skin of our teeth. Yes, but the way the people cheered. Remind you of the time in the arena? No, actually, it was different. How so? They weren't cheering for us, really. They were cheering for themselves. Well, you're not fighting for yourself anymore. You're fighting for them. I suppose you're right. That's easier, isn't it? Fighting for something greater than yourself. Certainly more rewarding. You've changed, Orima. For the better, I hope. Though it's hard to imagine I'm half the fighter I once was. Either way, you're twice the man. Maybe you've finally found what you were looking for. Maybe I have. Aww. Orima and Benji. Hey Orima, how can I get a belt like that? Well Benji, this belt has a long history. How old is it? Centuries old. Really? Wow, it's in pretty good shape for centuries. Before I won it, it had not been worn in a long time. How did you win it? It's awarded to the one who holds the record for the most undefeated matches in the Oasis Arena. Wait, so technically I could win it from you? You could? And I would be honor bound to deliver it to you? All you have to do is break my record. Alright, how many matches would it take? I'm embarrassed to admit this, Benji, but I don't actually remember. It's been a long time. I'm sure the record is kept somewhere in Aramore. Can you give me an idea? More like 10, 20? More than 100 at least. Oh, what if we started our own arena in Red Hill? We could make our own belt. You certainly could. That seems like a good plan. Give the people some entertainment for their community. Maybe Fenton can help me forge something huge and epic. I'm sure he'd be glad to. Ooh, I missed one. I need to stop doing that. Rose and Alexa. Rose, where have you been all day? I need your input. Oh, around. Be honest with me. Alright, I was taking a nap. A really long nap.
Come on.
Rose, we're at war. What in the world makes you think it's okay to take a nap? I never asked to go to war. No, but here you are. If you're negligent, you'll be on the fast track to getting yourself killed. Well, it's not like you would care. You just need my archery to fulfill your vendetta. Oh no, some spice from Little Red Hill Rose. Huzzah! Sorry, you know I didn't mean that. Don't apologise, you have to stop doing that. Remember what I drilled into you in prison? I know, I know. What was it? Do I have to say it? Yes, of course you have to say it. Say it until my ears bleed. All or nothing. What was that? I'm sorry I couldn't hear you. That's actually really adorable. We've got some more bonds to do, so let's go do those. Faust and Alden. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh man. Wow, children terrify me.
Huh?
Hey little man, what you up to? Just training. My guy, I've literally seen you vaporize someone. You're one heavy hitter. Yeah, when I hit, sometimes I concentrate so hard, by the time I cast my spell, they're not there anymore. Oof, yeah, that's not ideal. But look, kid, if you want to end up like me, here's some advice. When you have the chance to do nothing, take it. You might regret it eventually, but until then, it feels nice. Got it. I mean, seriously, you got to learn to relax a little. When I was your age, I didn't think I was even weaned. Faust, I'm 14. Yep. Oh, wow. Anyway, I'm going to take some of my own advice, but good luck with those fireballs. Try not to burn the place down. Thanks. Monroe Valburin, it's been a mortal age. So how are you, good buddy? What is it with you insufferable people assuming I know you? Are you serious right now? Monroe, we're the best friends. What are you on about, barrel boy? Oh, big scary Monroe Valburin. I spent plenty of time in your family storerooms, you know that. You like to act like you could buy me a fresh grave, but we both know that isn't true and everyone thinks it is. We've never met, are you delusional? I wonder if all con had you brainwashed into forgetting me. You never approved of our friendship, you needed me though. What do you know of my father, you rat? Well, let's have a bit of a look-see, why don't we? He's a great man. One of the best I've ever met. You hate him for it. I hate him because he's a weak maggot. That's what you tell people, but that's not really the truth, is it? You told me when we were kids how you felt. How you felt you simply wouldn't ever add up. Who are you, really? We used to run through the backfields together, Monroe. Can't believe you don't remember. You really do have a lot to catch up on. Can you at least give me the chance to help you remember our childhood together? I suppose I can do that. If my father wiped my memory of it, I'm sure those memories I could want. Absolutely hosed. You were toying with me? I'll have your hide, Faust. To be fair, my friend Candace did actually know you when you were young, when you were kids. Who's this Candace? He's just trolling the entire time. Eleanor, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for your abilities. You've pulled me out more than enough tight spots, but I gotta admit, you don't exactly fight the way I would have expected a monk to.
Don't understand.
And how would you expect a monk to fight? I don't know. I guess I wouldn't. I see. I figure monks are supposed to be peaceful. We are peaceful, but peace is a fruit, and like all fruit, it cannot grow unless the weeds and brambles that threaten it are cut down. That's a pretty scary definition of peace. Tell me, do you consider yourself a violent man? I try not to be. Do you desire peace in the world? About as much as the next guy. Truthfully? Alright, maybe a little more than the next guy. And let me ask you this. Do you take pleasure in snuffing out a life? God's Helena, no, of course not. Sometimes it feels fair, I guess, or like a relief, when it's one less person trying to run a sword through your gut. But taking pleasure in death, nah, that's not me. And yet here we are, two devotees of peace, fighting side by side in a revolution. Well, peace under a tyrant is hardly peace at all. In a way, we're really just trying to survive. Exactly. I only became a skilled fighter because I trained at the monastery for many seasons. I expected to return to find a world fortified against peace and unity. A world bent on its own destruction. I guess we all find that world sooner or later. We just have to we have to decide how to play our part. The ones who fight are the ones who survive. They are the ones with the privilege and responsibility of shaping the world for its future generations. I'm grateful I get to survive with, how did you put it? A fellow devotee of peace, I think. Yes. I'd like to think that's possible. Peace. If not achieving it, at least taking the first steps. It is undoubtedly. We've already proven that much. God, there's so many to do. Marin and Benji. I'm sure some days it's harder than others. But the way you look out for your kid brother Fenton, that's Benji thinks Fenton's a child.
You really think so?
Thanks, but I think you meant to say Alden. Are you sure? With the purple hair and the pointy hat? Yep, that's Alden. So Fenton's the other kid? Fenton's a dwarf, Benji. You can say that again, poor kid. He's not putting any fertilizer in his breakfast. No, certainly not. Anyway, what made you say that? Well, he's just so short.
Come on.
No, about Alden and me. Oh, nothing really. I just pick up on things. Got it. Do you have any brothers or sisters? One of each. Well, that did me much good. Spent most of my childhood picking up their slack. Most people grow up a little later in life. What you did may have meant a lot to them. You never know what's going on under the surface. And if that was the case, I figure they would have stuck around. Given the chance, they might have done things differently now. Do you have any idea where they are anyway? Maybe you could go and see them. Not really. We never were too close growing up. I'm sure they'd be more than impressed with what you've accomplished. They might have even gotten wind of it, some of it already. You think? I hope so. Then they could see what they could do with a little commitment.
All right.
Sounds like you've always had their best interests at heart, Benji. I think we're lucky to have you looking out for them. I guess. Hey, thanks for saying that, Marin. I'm really glad I ran into you back at Red Hill. Quite literally. Huh? What do you mean? I mean, I'm glad too, Benji. We all are. Lincoln and Bianca. Hey, I just wanted to check in. All this talk of revolution facing Varric head on. It can't be easy. No, it isn't. I didn't become a soldier because I thought it would be easy. If you don't mind me asking, why did you become a soldier? I've never heard you say much about your past.
Indeed.
Yes, well, perhaps for a good reason. In Carmont, when I was still a boy, my parents, both politicians, they sent me to live away from the capital. Greatest gift they ever gave me, really. The family I lived with in the countryside was quite traditional. They practiced the way of the oaths. I found it primitive at first, but there was a beauty in its simplicity. Naturally, when I became of age, I took my own oath. It was just what we did.
Who'da thunk?
Let me guess, if you ever met two Amoran princesses, you'd contradict everything you had to say. Not quite. It was a simple oath, really. I swore to do what was right, even if it was hard. Even when it came at great personal convenience or cost.
By your grace, Fate.
I swore to be more loyal to the truth than whatever else might suit my needs. That's a beautiful oath. When a herald came from the Delian Officers Academy, I saw a chance to live it out. To set out on a hard road, but for a higher purpose. To give my life for the protection of others who couldn't defend themselves. And now you'll fulfill that oath in every decision I've ever seen you make. You've lived it. You've lived it. Through and through. The king once served can't come close to saying the name. We were revolutionaries. And we're the revolutionaries the Delian people need, Lincoln. This is our higher purpose now.
Cannot fail my
At this point, I've already bet everything that you're right. Let's hope you are.
Definitely.
I am. Just a feeling you've got. Exactly. Might I apologise? What for? I was dishonest in my question, and knew more than I let on. I wanted to hear it from you unprompted. It's alright. I've grown accustomed to questioning.
Perhaps I can help.
I don't question for my curiosity, Orima. I am also capable of viewing auras. I would like to teach you, if you would allow me.
I'm not sure I understand.
I still don't understand what that makes you think I can do, whatever that is. The combatants that you predicted with your party trick, they would boast. There was one among the people who studied you. He followed their careers, through as long as they fought. You never missed a winner, and never picked a loser. So I got lucky joking around when I was nothing but a kid. Tell me, what do you feel when you look at Liberty? Excuse me? Think about it. Does she seem odd? She seems very poised, very powerful. Does that not seem strange to you? That isn't a regular descriptor. People don't look at someone and think they look powerful. Alright, teach me then, if you're so sure what I'm seeing. What am I seeing? Some mortals possess more raw capability to use magic. Propensities for different kinds. If you look very closely at me, you'll see an aura of wind. It might take some discerning. There is something swirled around you. You're beginning to see. Good. We may not have sprung from the same branch, Helena, but I admire your reverence for the gods. So many stumble through life after their next immediate need, without ever taking a moment to reflect on what true power might look like. But to a person of faith, life plays out on a divine stage. Yes, and that is much more an exciting one, fraught with peril, but equally as abundant in possibility. It's nearly impossible for me to understand how someone could wield an aspect and still fail to realize this. Then how did you become to wield Vingmar's aspect? Do you have a special devotion to him? No, and I don't believe it was the divine will that brought it to me. Not an active one, anyway. The Mystic Council. In light of recent events, Meave and I were asked to transport them to the Order of Eternals for further examination. That's when I discovered one of them was indeed the aspect of the War God. The others? Some simple gems, and other objects of ancient power. But only one aspect? No, there were others, including the one Meave keeps with her. The aspect of Pelagiel. War and lightning. The Mystic Council maintains its reputation well. Does it really have a reputation? I try to reserve both war and lightning as a last resort. That's very generous of you. It's a shame generosity is not a pillar of our reputation. Perhaps another 400 years. One can hope, but I have my doubts. You should not doubt. Well, time will prove us right. Once I have likely departed, when it does, I hope you'll remember what I said. I most definitely will. Irving and Garrick. Was it good to see home again, Garrick? I haven't had the time to reflect on that yet. Once I realised we'd arrived too late to stop them from taking Esme, I couldn't think of much else. I know, I couldn't either. I don't claim to know what that must have been like for you. Thinking about it still makes me uneasy. Of course it does. But I was immediately comforted by the knowledge that they wouldn't do anything to hurt her, or they'd risk losing their most valuable bargaining chip. That assumes our enemies think rationally. Sorry, not helpful. That's alright. In spite of everything, I'm glad... No, you seemed glad to see your father. Of course I was. He's a real splinter in the seat most of the times, but he's still my father. You know, you speak of him a great deal, but not your mother much. That's hardly anything to complain about. It's possible to speak so positively of someone without complaining, you know. I happen to agree with you, so much so that I've used that very line before, but I've not had much luck with it. I can imagine. Anyway, I'd always found it a bit strange that you hardly ever mention her, especially given that you chose her as your mentor. Chose her, Irving? I finished my preliminary practice last in every category. My mother was the only professor who would take me. Is that so? I can't believe I never knew that. Well, it's not exactly a fact I mentioned in the same breath as introducing myself.
It's not that simple.
We met when we could hardly speak, Garrick. I think it's fair to say we were well introduced when you passed your preliminaries. I was embarrassed then, alright? I didn't want you to know. I'm not sure what for. But you did a sneak's job of hiding it. I would have never guessed. You're one of the finest archers I've ever known. Only one of them? It's never enough with you, is it? If that's how I carry myself, I got that from you. Always ready to lay the blame. Isn't that what friends are for? No, family maybe. Then fitting then. I don't know what it's like to have a brother, Irving. I know what it's like to be your friend. It's difficult to imagine having a brother could be any better. You set the bar quite high. Wow, thanks, Garrick. That might be the kindest thing anyone's ever said to me. Well, it's true. And only further proof that you're getting sentimental with age. I figure if we die young, I'll be free from your ridicule soon enough. You remember what I said before, don't you? Yes, yes, if you can help it. I'll never let you live this down.
Hey,
Great, I'm really looking forward to the rest of our long, miserable lives. Good, I'm not alone then. Never. Not if you can help. Not if I can help it. Aww. That was nice. Your mother is going to be fine, Irving. She's tougher than she looks. So my Aunt Liberty. I won't crumble just because she's gone. We'll get her back.
Keep that in mind.
Right. I forgot you're not little Irving anymore. It's been too long, truly. You were reporting on us to Alice there, weren't you, when we were kids? Of course I was. He missed you dearly. Timing doesn't always work out. I know, I'm not bitter about it. He has a lot on his shoulders. It's alright to resent him for it, you know. He may have a lot on his shoulders, but he knew he would. He knew he would be able to stay. And the alternative is me not standing here alive. I think I'll take the absentee father over not being here. Maybe so. I just don't want you to hold this all in and be brave. We can talk about it if you want. Then when did you get so maternal? When I felt it was necessary. Thank you very much. I never have wanted kids of my own. But no one was happier than me when I heard Esme was pregnant. Right, it's a little surreal to think you're both members of a secret society. Sort of shatters any illusions of me being a normal kid. We just wanted to get... We wanted you to get to just be a normal kid. That's why we kept you in Brookstead, away from Chleben. The family committees... the family commitments sound a lot more glamorous than they play out. Well, it looks like I've turned out to handle family matters either way. Funny how that happens, isn't it? I don't think it's funny at all. I feel sorry that you've been brought into this life.
don't worry.
I'd rather it be me than someone else. I can take it. That's not what I'm worried about. Meave and Vesta. Vesta, I've never had the chance to fight by your side until now. But you're a natural on the battlefield.
The Order.
The Mystic Council isn't the only secret society with extensive training. It appears not. I must have taken considerable effort to keep your skills sharp. While you tended the temple in
I'm
Etlan.
afraid not.
It wasn't as difficult as you might think. The life of a priestess is governed by discipline. There were times for prayer, meals, services. Everything really. It was just a matter of setting aside enough time for training. And you've done it well. Thank you, you know. With everything that's happened, I'm surprised you haven't spent more time in Atlan. It was a mistake not to. I grew... Oh, I was about to say, I thought that spelt wrong, but no, I grew used to. I thought it was too used. It's the other way around. I grew used to high-profile assassinations occurring at the behest of the council, or at least after looking the other way. But Fasol's death was the first to blindside us in centuries. We'd observed none of the usual signs of instability in Delia, nor abnormal tension in relations with Aramor. It was an anomaly of the highest degree, and it was only the first of many. You suspect that someone within the council might have been involved. Not necessarily. Someone just with enough perspective to know exactly how and when to strike, without a strong scent leading back to them. Between the two of us, I pray we'll be able to piece together the whole story. We will. Our partnership is steadfast, Vesta. If anyone can get to the bottom of it, it's us. Your confidence is inspiring. I only wish I shared it. Just give it time. Vesta and Liberty. Vesta, we need to talk about the orders from back in Chleben. I was wondering when you would seek me out. Things look grim, don't they? Take heart, Vesta. I only just showed up. Yeah, I suppose if anyone could have turned the tide, it would be you. Here's to hoping you can make a difference. Make the difference I can believe you can. I don't know I'm quite the weapon I once was. Too many years spent in a dead-end post-brewing beer. With villagers who didn't know how to read. Was it really so bad? It's been glorious, Vesta. Best time of my life. I'm sure you know that. I never wanted any part of any of this. Of course, we all know that. What's the news? Alistair did some digging on our little friend from Cosmere, Atlas. He thinks it's a credible accusation. Of course it is. He's been suspected of something or another on and off for many years. But he dug further than that. If you line up his disappearances with the certain events in Delia that directly preceded the start of the war, you think he had Fassel killed and framed the Morans? Alistair suspects. I haven't been up to date in the politics of it. But I even smelled something off with that one. No motive. Precisely. Fassel was an excellent king. But whoever that sorcerer was, he clearly had an agenda. Something that the war benefited. Perhaps something required the war. Oh, they're going to like build the aqueducts. And use the aspects to summon a god or something. I see. I will keep it in mind. As will I. Alright then, we're getting some context in. We've got a couple of bonds to do. Not many. Just a few. So we'll just start those now. Alden and Orimer. Good, these two are actually on the battlefield quite often. Alden, how do you feel? Fine, just tired. Understandable, these latest few days haven't left much time for rest. No, they haven't, but I guess the same is true for everyone else. I'm quick to consider the burdens of others. That is a mark of a good heart. Thanks, why do you ask anyway? Has my form gotten worse? No, not at all, quite the contrary. I'd say your abilities have improved, even beyond what I thought possible for someone your age. But that's just it, I suppose. You're quite young to shoulder the burdens we carry. I don't get why everyone keeps saying that. What we're doing is hard, but it's important. What's the point of waiting until I'm older to make a difference? My own hardship began at an early age, I'll remind you. I'm no stranger to these thoughts. It's a curious thing, but sometimes battle shows the best in us. More often it shows the worst. It's important to remember, even when each day brings new peril, that for most people, most days don't look like ours. That's true. Most of my life in Brookstead was nothing like this. And that wasn't even that long ago. Exactly. Life consists of many moments. Some of joy, peace, quiet. And at times, the beauty of Terrazeal is enough to surprise you. Or a smile from a friend. Youth is a time to discover these truths and hold to them. When I entered the arena, I believe I may have lost some of that time. I can only imagine the same is for you. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, back at Swift Harbour after the battle, when we carried Irving back to the city, the sun set over the ocean. Boy, I never saw anything like it. I never saw the ocean before. It was beautiful. I didn't really want to say anything. It kind of felt wrong. Find something beautiful after everything we've been through. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think our lives have these moments too. You just have to know where to find them. I broached the subject in hopes of teaching you something I wish I'd learned long ago. For a sense, I've become the student. Thank you for sharing your reflection with me. Yeah, of course. Thanks for making me think about it. We've chosen a difficult life, Alden. We must never lose sight of the reason we chose it. Fortunately for us, we have plenty of good reasons, all around us. Fortunately indeed. Oh, that was a nice one. Caius and Benji. The two best boys. It's Benji's turn. I'm afraid I'm all out of fresh meat here, Benji. I said it was my turn, look. What's this? Corn chowder with your spice. Corn chowder and Khan Menka. You made this? Yep. Benji, that's so thoughtful. Wow. This is a really hefty portion. I found a big pot. So you did. It smells incredible. Do you like it? Well, I'd have to taste it first. Let's see here. Oh, I'm not usually big on corn. But it's delicious. You've got a real talent, Benji.
Nothing less than the best.
I just smile every time he talks. It's quite nice. Really great. Do you think Sophia would enjoy some? I'd be surprised if she didn't. You didn't put any meat in this, did you? Black Abyss, I forgot. I should add some. Actually, Benji, I know you don't want Sophia to miss out, but I think it's just right as it is. Cooking is a delicate craft, you know. You don't want to upset the balance. Good point. Hey, don't let me hold you back. Better take it to it while it's still warm. Alright, here goes. Hope she likes it. Yep, I'm sure she will, man. God, this is stuff. Wow. Which one's Sophia again? I'm not particularly great with names. Sophia's the archer lady. Right. I ain't used her for a while. Vesta and Helena. My 2 tank ladies. Master, if we succeed in securing the aspects, you will have fulfilled your duty, will you not? That's right. What will you do then?
Sworn to protect.
Whatever next needs doing, whatever's right. But how will you recognize that when the time comes? How will you know wherever you're meant to be? When you heard the call of the gods, your mission became clear, no? Yes, I knew I had to challenge the champion of the Oasis. And what did you do then? I followed him to you, and then to the others, then yet more challenges. How did you know that was what you were meant to do? It seemed clear at the time. One challenge led to the next. Why else would the gods have led me to Orima when they did? Tested me as they did. If not to join you all in something greater. Exactly, your call has never left you. It's just my duty will never leave me. How I fulfill the duty will change as the world changes. And when the time comes, I'll know what to do then. Just like I knew before. You're wise not to bind yourself up with tomorrow's concerns. Today's troubles are enough. Harry was the same way. When our quest is complete, you should find her. Bester, I told you, I cannot return. No, but I have a feeling that her time at the monastery came to an end not long after yours. How can you be sure? I'm not, it's just a feeling I have. Maybe she'll be the one to find you, not unlike how you found Orima. That may be, but for now, it's as you say, we focus on today.
Shield is yours.
There's no shortage of tasks ahead. But I'm glad to face them alongside a friend. As am I. Nice. There we go. Right, some more supports to do. Irving and Vesta. Your mother seems to have adjusted to the revolutionary's life. Right, so this one wasn't caused by them being next to each other in combat, but because we're this far in the story. Okay. What makes you say that? The other day I ran into her by the river bend. She was issuing orders to the new recruits like a proper general. I'll have to speak to her about that. Only to encourage her, I'm sure. As for myself, I'm not too sure. Do be gentle with her, Irving. It's only a mother's instinct to fiercely guard the efforts of her son. I know she means well. Perhaps it's just the son's instinct to be embarrassed by it. There may be truth in that. I'm glad to have her with us, aren't you? Immeasurably. It's rather strange to say, but the Marrows is just about the safest place in Etland for her right now. Out of reach of Varric's agents, I pray. And I join my prayers to yours. Threatening her life to get you was both cruel and dishonourable. That goes without saying. But you handled yourself at arrogance's peak. How was it? Arrogance Peak. That was what the mountain was called. A lesser man might have fallen victim to despair or rage, but you never once relinquished your command of the situation. I'm grateful it appeared that way. But recently, there was a storm raging inside me. I can imagine. Seeing my own mother held captive, it became real. I guess. Each and every action we take echoes in the lives of real people. For the better, more or not.
Yes.
I hope so. I wouldn't wish that experience upon anyone. But it was more certainly a reminder of what or who we're fighting for. That's good. Such reminders can be both useful. In dark times. Your mother is greatly blessed to have you for a son, and all of Delia to have you as the face of its revolution. You flatter me, really. But I appreciate your words. Next support is Faust. The absolute legend of a troll that Faust is. Oh god, this is going to be one hell of a troll. Faust and Benji. Hey, stop right there, Faust. How did you just do that? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Do what? You can't fool me. I saw you carrying that entire anvil. I don't even think I could do that. I think your eyes are deceiving you, big fella. I was just carrying this hammer here. My eyes never deceive me. Never have, never will, never. That being said, never. Alright, fine. I was carrying the anvil. Why would you need to carry an anvil? You want us to not be able to forge new weapons? Yes, Benji. I really hate warfare. I wish I never saw another fight. Hey, everyone, get a load of this idiot. Why'd you have to try to ruin everyone's fun for the rest of us, huh?
Jeez.
No, I didn't mean to. Why don't you just leave the anvil where it is and don't have to show how big these biceps get? I was kidding, Benji. You're not the only one around here who does strength training. Yeah, but you're tiny. You are a mage. He is strong, boy. You cannot just pick up an anvil. You are incredibly suspicious. Lifting an anvil isn't strength training, it's torture. have to nurture your muscles. They aren't your servants, you are theirs. You've got to be kidding me. I never joke about muscles. Don't let me catch you doing it again. Aye aye, Captain Benji. Faust and the child. Hey, fireballs. How's the whole thing going? Hey, Faust, better, that's for sure. I've started to see a difference on the battlefield. Well, yeah, you are my strongest mage by far. You are Villager Boy, who always gets no less than 4 stat gains. That's really good. Well, you know who isn't seeing a difference? Your enemies. Because they're dead, so they don't see anything. After you kill them, you know, with your spells. No, yeah, I understand that. Cool. Not my best work. No, definitely not. Hey, listen, I've been meaning to ask. Your sister, she, obliged? What? You know, is she seeing anyone? I don't think so. We don't really talk about that stuff a whole lot. I got it. So she's a private woman. I can get behind that. Faust, stop. I know you're trolling. Just stop. Alright. She's got a favourite colour. Flower. Spot in her hometown where she likes to unwind. Listen, I really think you should ask her yourself. Oh yeah, absolutely. What do you think Psh, no. No, of course. She's told me all those things anyway. And she's probably told me all those things anyway. Just don't want her to repeat herself. Uh-huh. You'll get it when you're older. I think I get it now. Alright, we've got a smart wizard kid. Kid genius, huh? Whatever, man. Listen, keep up the good work. You're doing great. Just pace yourself, yeah? You're starting to make the rest of us look bad. I'll keep that in mind. Because Alden has 9 fingers because he lost one in, like, chapter 2. Because I was an idiot. Good, honestly. I don't think we can... I think we really get each other. We're synced. This is going to be great. It's already great. Totally, Faust. Yeah, Faust is weird, even for me. Helena and... very strict elf boy. Your mind seems far away, Thalenal. Perhaps it is. Which way is on it? Memories of that which you've seen? Yes, and thoughts of things more terrible than I have ever seen before. I'll pray the things you see will not come to pass. Thank you, Helena. The miracle may just be the help we need. And if we do receive it, what then? The effort to rebuild begins, I suppose. What role do you expect the Mystic Council will play in that effort? Any effort I could give would be purely speculation. Miva's always been careful not to tell me more than I absolutely needed to know. Oh, that reminds me I need to take Miva off. But now she hits from 3 spaces away, that's pretty decent. But I'll try without her on the next map. I imagine it would be quite difficult to conceal intentions from someone with your experience. It is true that in the past I have anticipated their efforts. But I don't feel it's appropriate to attempt to do so this time. I understand. Perhaps I will say this. I expect their operation to be significantly more active in the near future. Their mission, thus far, has come to the brink of failing. Not a single one of them is eager to see disaster come so close again. Neither would I be so eager for it. Perhaps you should consider petitioning the council.
You've come a long way.
They could use someone with your skills, and especially your discipline and devotion. Thank you. I'll bring it to prayer, but first, I have some personal matters to attend to. I understand it well. May the gods guide your path, Helena, and yours in this plane and those beyond. Oh, okay. What does Mystic Boy have to say? Elias, you don't look well. You might have phrased that more gently, Helena. And less effectively. I'll never accuse you of wasting breath on pointless chatter. What troubles you? I don't know, I haven't been sleeping as much as I used to. We've all been expending a good deal of energy on the road. Yeah, you've got more mystic powers over time though, so you're probably just seeing things. Is it the staff? Perhaps you don't waste breath now and then. Perhaps you do waste breath every now and again. Asking questions you already know the answers to. Elias, you should not be able to bear the burdens alone. You may confide in me. Images from my probing into astral spaces. They linger. In my waking hours, in my dreams, the souls tortured by Akmenos. Almost beyond recognition. They have not left my memory. Right, because he is an aspect. What are they called? The Mystic Mage people. I have 4 of them. They're the humans who can use mystic powers. Because there's humans, elves, and the mystic people. Humans just can use magic, but they're the element ones, like Fireball. He's one of the mystics who can become fire, lightning, or wind, like Bianca and the Fireboy. I don't just see their suffering. Like a beggar you might pass on the street, I feel it, as though their wounds were inflicted upon my very spirit. I suppose that's my gift at work again, isn't it? I do believe so. Some gift. That gift will prevent you from ever being capable of the same malice.
Impossible.
And how could Akmenos even be capable of it? I can't even fathom. That is because of your own soul has not been tortured as his. Without his corruption, his cruelty would in fact be impossible. Then how can we hope to prevail against those corrupted? Will they simply go to any length necessary to repel us? They will, and that is why hope is necessary. Without hope, we are resigned to our odds. And as you and I both know, they are slim indeed. I just wish I could stop seeing them, these souls. Elias, do not wish that they were absent from your memory. Instead, draw strength from them. We offer Etlan and perhaps the world an alternative to their fate. That is a light that must illuminate us as we pass under the shadow. A difficult light to see then. Try to see it. What other choice do we have? You must, and give it time. Very well, I will try. Thank you, Helena, for your counsel and consolation. Since I've known you, you've had a way of providing it when I need it the most, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah, because she is Monk Lady. She listens to everybody. Perhaps that is a small gift of my own, without a doubt. My two mystics, let's go. I must confess, when I first rode away from the Tranquil Isle, my mind was set on your trial. I didn't think much of what might happen next. Or if I had, don't believe I would ever have imagined all we've been through, or any of it really. No, I couldn't myself. I think that's likely for the best.
Don't understand.
What do you mean? Look at my own life. It's fair to say things didn't go exactly according to plan. But yeah, you are blessed by a god. That is why your eyes glow. You are incredibly strong. But my exile from Aramor gave rise to my legend. My time in the desert tested and strengthened me. My path crossed Vestas, and I learned again to depend on others. I formed my own trials and rebuilt my confidence, all in preparation to fight for something greater than myself, to join a group of strangers I had never met, against an enemy that once posed no threat to me.
Things change.
If I had instead lived out my own desires, how much less would I have grown? We become who we are meant to be, by doing whatever we are capable of. He says some really oddly wise things for some reason. The gods indeed are better authors of our lives than we are. The visions are greater than our own. No, their visions are greater than our own. They can see our truest potential where we only find weakness. And you would have it any different? No, I wouldn't. Thank you for this truth, Orima. You knew it all along, in your heart. Just like your call, I merely reminded you. You have my gratitude nonetheless. It's a reminder I'll need these days to come. Yeah, something tells me that that's the case for most of us. See, most of them are repeats, we're okay. Elias and Thelano? Yep. I can't keep pushing, this is exhausting.
Silence.
You don't have a choice, your abilities could consume you and others. I will not allow it. Hold on, I just need to catch my breath. Alright. I know we're pushing hard, Elias. You are young and very powerful. Your dedication is an inspiration. Like, he is such a big, powerful unit in the lore, but the person who recruited him, his best friend, the thief lady, rarely shows up. Which is a shame. Easy to say from the sidelines. You aren't even breaking a sweat. That is my privilege, is it not? What is it you humans say? Respect your elders?
Or not.
Well, yeah, you're like 600 or something. Not this human, not today. I need you to tell me why this scares you so badly. You're worth 10 men on the battlefield. Am I really a threat? Yes. It's fair that I give you the most information that I have. I've seen what happens to those who try to protect by withholding knowledge. As have I. I haven't seen an arcane aura as powerful as yours in over 300 years. The woman who possessed it saw through the death of hundreds. Gods. I could have stopped her had I known. As they say, one is perfect sight when looking into the past. Lelios was a cousin of mine, a close friend of many years. we train together. We learn to control our powers in the safety of Faldren.
If you must know.
Even on my kind, the ability to read auras is rare. I hadn't yet the understanding to process what I saw. As we trained, I witnessed her training more and more upon the power of the Arcana. Or Arcana? I'll call it Arcana for now. Granting herself immense magical strength.
Charming.
I think this story might have been more fun if you haven't spoiled the story outcome beforehand. I will not speak of Lilios if you disrespect the memory of my family who she slew. I'm sorry. I guess I heard 300 years and it almost seems as if you weren't there when it happened. It is alright, Elias. I know that you process things differently. Even other Sun Elves misunderstand our longevity. I'll take my leave. I promise to tell you soon, but the memories are painful. I ask that you trust why I'm training you as hard as I am. Yes, I can do that. I trust you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good. Couple left. Meave and Thalenol. If you wish to return home, I'll allow it.
Wise.
Our work here is not finished. My work isn't finished. Yours can be if you wish it. This is dangerous work. Dangerous times. Yes, dangerous to the person who will always die in more than 4 hits. There can never be 1 hit ever. I mean, he has died on me because he got ganged up by 6 people, but it's fine. Our work isn't finished here. I've done that one. You're well aware I don't shy away from danger. No, if anything, you're drawn to it like a lodestone. I cannot consider this. I ache to see Alethios. Alethos. God, they keep spouting out these terms and I can't even read them most of the time. That much you don't need to be told. No, and you've been away longer than usual. But she understands that it's my duty to protect you. And that is what I will do. Alright, I'm glad to hear it. I am the first exiled warden. I made a vow to myself to exceed any expectation laid upon me. Even and especially the unmerited ones.
I can help.
That means making sacrifices I have all my life. I've made greater ones for lesser causes. As you know, we both have. I fear what will happen here in Delia. It's not a natural aggression that's taken over King Varric. Well, King Varric is kind of an asshole, so I'm not going to mourn his death. He's done some incredibly stupid crap to us already. No, he is being manipulated, that much is clear. I know of his line. I find it unlikely that they would produce an heir incapable of indistinguishing right from wrong. Agreed.
Most unfortunate.
It is most unfortunate. The council is moving too slow on this, my friend. I know. Will you reconsider allowing me to deconstruct your oath of silence?
I think not.
No, I will not. You aren't the only one with a torch to hold. You'll be letting down every half-elf in the expanse. Right, because she's a half-elf. She just doesn't look like one. Because generally law is, they look more human-like with like shorter ears and stuff. We will share what we know when we are permitted and not a moment before. And let us hope that moment comes in time. Last one, Bianca and Monroe. What you did with the bit about Joyce was unfair. You shouldn't go around putting words in other people's mouths. Did any harm come of it? Well, no, but I imagine if I hadn't asked you, it might have caused quite a bit of an awkward situation for Joyce when I returned to Swergen. Oh, the horror. Nothing in this world could be more dangerous than an awkward conversation with Monroe Valbyrin. That's not what I meant. I feel this bad about Joyce, I can't imagine what you'd be like if you heard what Sloane's been saying about you. Oh, Christ, we're not bringing Sloane into this again, are we? What? How dare she talk behind my back? I'm kidding, Monroe. I'm trying to show you you have a problem. That is a fair point. I don't like the thought of people talking behind my back. We've got to teach you how to deal with it then. Because it'll never go away. You'll be the head of a major noble house.
Pointless.
Then the commoners will learn not to speak ill of me in the shadows.
Not even.
No, they won't. The only solution here is for you to grow a thicker skin. It's unfortunate, but true. I suppose it isn't realistic to try and control what they talk about. It's not bad because you can't achieve it. It's bad because you shouldn't want to control other people's thoughts, Monroe. Fair point. How should we start? Why don't I point out some unsavoury things that could be said about you? And we work on them and you not becoming furious. That's not going to end well. I can't believe I'm saying this. I give you my express permission to degrade me to my face.
Who'da thunk?
Oh, wow. This is going to be seriously fun. I'm glad at least one of us can enjoy it. Yeah, don't do that, Bianca. You're going to ruin my entire party dynamic.